Hello everybody, this is Tyler here once again from the Other Games channel, and today with me I have a rather interesting unboxing today. I pre-ordered a full case of the Cartoon Network Funko Mystery Minis from EntertainmentEarth.com. To be honest, I would have never known about these if it wasn't for another YouTuber by the name of DC Network who did his own video unboxing a full case of these, and I'm like, wait, Funko did a line of Mystery Minis for Cartoon Network figures? I'm like, surprised it took them this long to do it because Titans beat them to it like 10 years ago, so interesting to see Funko kind of doing their own version of this. So yep, here's the box that it came in, so there we go. I think it's really interesting how they called it WB Cartoons right on this label here, because, I mean, yes, even though Cartoon Network is owned by Warner Brothers, I'm pretty sure, like, WB Cartoons was, like, another set of figures Funko did, like, a long time ago, back in 2018. And they had, like, characters from, like, Looney Tunes and Hanna-Barbera, so I highly doubt this is that series. So just get this box opened up and should get, yep, I already see it. There's the top of the boxes. Trying to get this whole thing out, if I can. There we go. Alright, just get it right side up. And there we go, that's what the display box looks like. So I just realized how very tall and thin the packaging is compared to most, like, Funko Mystery Mini boxes. So, yep, this is a line of basically a lot of the classic Cartoon Network characters from the late 90s, early mid-2000s. So, got a couple shows represented in here. Dexter's Lab, Foster's, Powerpuff Girls, Billy and Mandy, Courage. So, really excited to see what these figures look like. And I'm especially curious which rares I'm going to be getting, because obviously with the Funko sets, like, you're pretty much guaranteed to get, like, the 1 in 6s and 1 in 12s guaranteed if you get a full case. But with the other figures, you're pretty much just wondering, like, oh, which am I going to be getting a 1 in 72, 1 in 36? Like, that to me is, like, the more exciting part about these. So let's see who is in the first box, if I can get the shrink wrapping open. I do tend to forget that, like, unlike other companies that do these, Funko has, like, extra plastic wrap around the boxes. I guess to keep these extra protected, maybe, because I have no clue. Alright, let's see who our first figure is. Definitely feels like a very... I think I might... Actually, this honestly could be anybody, because a lot of the characters I've noticed have, like, square-shaped heads, so... Alright, well, speaking of rare figures, not necessarily the rarest figure of the set, but we got Mac from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends right here. And his rarity is 1 in 24, so one of him in every 2 cases, so right off the bat I got somebody that you're, I guess, only have a 50-50 chance of getting if you were to get a full case of these, so looks really nice. Very show accurate, I would say, which is something that I can't really say about the Funko Pops, which is honestly one of the main reasons why I heavily prefer the Funko Mystery Minis over the Funko Pops. Is with the Mystery Minis, they tend to, like, design the characters more closer to what they look like in their actual, like, shows or movies that they're from. Alright, now, I will say, the plastic wrapping on these are sometimes hard to get off, so this video may take longer than usual, just me trying to get the plastic wrapping itself off. If I could just... Yeah, this definitely, like, if you're getting these yourself, may need to have a pair of scissors on you. Did I get that? I may have to, like, fast forward through portions of this video, just in case, but we'll see when I eventually get this done. At this point, this is basically what and I dropped the box. This is basically what half the video is going to be, just me getting the plastic wrapping off. Now, in terms of, like, the case arrangements and where specific figures are, not 100% sure if this is going to be, like, a guaranteed about where they are. Like, if you were to see this video and get these yourself, like which figures you're going to be getting, and if you get what I'm trying to say, I kind of messed up that sentence right there. And oh, all right, well I guess I got the two rares that you're going to get in the case. I got one of the ones I'm personally looking forward to. I got Grimm from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, looking very, very awesome. Looks just like with Mac, he looks very show accurate as well. The scythe is even painted the right way. There he is, got a big old grin. Alright, there's Grimm. And his rarity is 1 in 36, so one of him in every 3 cases right there. So awesome. I definitely got one of the rares that I wanted to get. So I'm gonna assume at this point the rest of the case is just gonna be like the 1 in 6s and 1 in 12s. Alright, let's get this third box open. Alright, see who we get here. Alright, and I think, alright, we got the boy genius himself, Dexter, right here from Dexter's Laboratory, and I gotta say that, not expected for him to have a grin like that, but I would say that's pretty in character of him. On a lot of promotional art for the show, he does tend to have, like, that kind of, like, look on his face, like, oh, I know everything, even though, to be honest, he doesn't always know everything. And Dexter here is 1 in 12, so basically if you were to get a full case, you're pretty much going to get one Dexter for sure. Looks really good. I gotta say, this is definitely one of the better looking Funko sets that I've unboxed for sure. Now, are they as good as the Titans ones? That's kind of a debate for another day, but yeah, these guys definitely are a close contender, I would say, so far. And I'm only like, at this point, a third of the way into the case. Now, I am probably going to be doing this the same way that I'm doing the Super 7 full cases, where I'm pretty much going to keep opening until I pretty much get at least everybody that you're guaranteed to get in a full case, but who knows. If I can get this plastic off. There we go. Yeah, as I said before, I'll probably just have to, like, speed up the opening part. Maybe. If these are going to take ages like they are right now, that is. Alright, so I think, yep, I could definitely tell from the... Well, actually, there's like 2 characters that I know in this set that have pigtails, so it could be either one of them, but... Alright, I got the one that I kind of expected, or at least predicted. We got Dexter's sister, Dee Dee, right there. There we go. And just like Dexter, Dee Dee's rarity is also 1 in 12. So there she is right there. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the same pose that they did for the Dee Dee Funko Pop as well, so very fitting that the Mystery Mini one would also be in the same pose, but obviously, design-wise, a bit more show accurate, unlike the Funko Pop version is. At this point, there's like so much trash back here that I'm like trying to find the scissors just to try to get the plastic off. So, since I already got both Dexter and Dee Dee, I do believe the rest of this case should just be the 1 in 6s. As to where they are in the case, I will find that out. If I can just... There we go. There we go. Alright. See who's in box number 5. I think I might have a clue about who this could be. Alright, yes it is. Alright, we got the main antagonist of the Powerpuff Girls, Mojo Jojo right here. There's his cape. And his rarity's 1 in 6, so basically one of him, not one of him, 2 of him in a case. So there's that. Looks really cool. Nice expression on his face, the pose. Absolutely amazing. Alright, just gonna bring the camera down a little bit so you can see everybody else that I've gotten so far. Now, one thing I am kind of curious about, Funko does this a lot with their minis. Usually, like, if it's a 1 in 6 figure, usually they're both next to one another in the case, so I'm curious to see if this next box is another Mojo, but once I get this plastic off, we'll find out. Which I guess if that's the case, that means, like, all the Powerpuff Girls themselves are at the bottom of the case. Maybe not for everybody else, but at least for me, that is. Like I said earlier, I'm not sure if the case arrangements are accurate from, you know, retailer to retailer, or case assortment to case assortment, but who knows. And, yep, I definitely already feel it. Alright, there we go, another Mojo. Twice the evil, twice the potential to have world domination, I guess. There we go. Alright, so I guess that means the bottom of the case should have the Powerpuff Girls themselves. As to which one's going to be first, let's find out. So, honestly, I'm really hoping that if this does well enough, Funko will consider doing a Series 2 of these with, like, different characters, different shows. Because obviously, like, Cartoon Network has a massive library of shows that they could do figures of. Some that Funko have already done, like, pop figures for, like Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken. Like, those are some... Oh, I just realized there's some bubble wrap around this. Not sure if that's supposed to be a hint about who it is in particular, but, alright, so I think this one, do I see, oh, I see yellow, so this one is Bubbles, and I gotta give credit to Funko for actually wrapping these figures up in some extra bubble wrap to keep them protected, because they each come on a clear stand, so obviously very prone to breaking if, not handled properly, but I'm also glad Funko took the extra step to keep these figures protected, and there's Bubbles right there. I do love the additions of the clear stands. Definitely gives them the ability, like, they're flying, so awesome. And just like Mojo, Bubbles is 1 in 6, so I do believe, like, every one of the Powerpuff Girls figures are 1 in 6, except for, there's a glow-in-the-dark Mojo Jojo. He's 1 in 72, so he's the only exception, and yeah, I'll have to get him eventually. Obviously, after I'm done with opening up these, I have no intentions on getting another full case, obviously. I'll just probably have to get the remaining figures from eBay, most likely. And if my prediction is correct, this other box should be the other Bubbles. And I am correct. There we go. Just gonna keep the bubble wrap just like that. Alright, which means the only other ones we're missing out of this case... Now I'm really losing the scissors now. Just missing Blossom and Buttercup at this point. Because obviously the other characters, Blue, Courage, and then the 2 1 in 72s that I'm missing. Not gonna be getting any of those guys in this case. Like I said earlier, have to get those guys probably from eBay, most likely. And yeah, something I never brought up at the beginning of this video. This is like the first, like, new Funko set that I've unboxed in a while, because I think the last time well, obviously this wasn't online, but the last time I got any, like, new Funko Minis was the Fantastic Four ones they did a couple years ago. I ended up getting Dr. Doom, Silver Surfer, and I think Mole Man is his name. And which one is this? I see green, so I'm assuming this is Buttercup. If I could just get this open here. Oop. Alright, get her out of there. Alright. There she is right there. And I do like that each of their stands coordinate with the color of their uniforms. So Bubbles is blue, and then Buttercup's is green. So there she is. Just like almost any piece of merchandise with Buttercup definitely has like a more like, I don't know how to describe those eyes, more like a determined look on her face, maybe. I don't know how you would describe that expression, but very common with all Powerpuff Girls merchandise with Buttercup. And just like Bubbles and Mojo Jojo, she's 1 in 6, which I'm assuming this next box is probably the other Buttercup. And I guess if that's the case, that means the back 2 boxes are probably Blossom. So very funny how like the leader of the group is like the last figures to be opened up. That is if you're like me and you open the figures like top row first, front row first, that sort of thing. Alright, let's see here, and am I correct? Is this the other? Yep, of course, the other Buttercup. Alright, which means, whoop, everybody's gonna be falling over. There goes Mac and Dee Dee. Although, I brought up earlier about how I would like to see Funko do a Series 2. When was the last time they did a Series 2 of any of their minifigures? Because they haven't done anything like that recently. Like, after they did Rick and Morty Series 3 a couple years ago, I would have expected them to do a Series 4, but they never did that. Same thing with, I personally would like to see a Cuphead Series 2, because there was some new characters there. And of course, the Delicious Last Course DLC that came out a few years ago. But anyways, I was doing all that talking, and there's Blossom right here. And her stand is pink, just like her dress. There she is right there. And 1 in 6, as I've already brought up. So put her right next to all the other ones. Try to get Mac and Dee Dee to stand up. Also, I just realized Dexter's now completely blocked by the Powerpuff Girls. I'll have to move him, like, maybe closer to the front. There we go, now you can see him. Now, obviously, I know who's going to be in this last box, but I'm just going to open it up anyway, just because, well, it's only one box, you know. Not going to be the end of the world if I'm going to be opening it up, despite already knowing who's going to be in here, but get this opened up. Alright, I know this isn't technically the end of the video yet, but hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing this. And, yep, as per usual, the other Blossom. Alright, so that's it. That was the full case, and there's everybody that I've gotten all the Powerpuff Girls, Mojo Jojo, I got Dexter and Dee Dee from Dexter's Lab, and then my 2 rare figures being Mac from Foster's, and then Grimm from Billy and Mandy, so pretty good selection, I will say. Still some other figures I'm missing, like Blue, Courage, and then the glow-in-the-dark Mojo, and then there's another version of Blue that I'm missing, so have to get those figures at some point and then do a full collection showcase of these, but yeah, really love this set. One of the better looking Funko sets that I've seen in a long time. I might have to eventually do a video later on down the line about comparing these figures to the Titans ones, because, yeah, Titans, back like a long time ago, they were the main company behind these Cartoon Network figures, but glad to see Funko did their own version. So these look really neat. If you guys want to get them yourselves, I'm sure any retailer that's selling Funko stuff probably has these in stock. I got these from entertainmentearth.com, so there's that option. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments, are you guys going to be getting these figures yourself? Which ones are your favorites? If there's a Series 2, which characters do you want to see be featured in there? Like, I already brought up the possibility of, like, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken. I feel like Ed, Edd, and Eddy would be another good option for a Series 2, but we'll see if Funko ever does that. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more content to come on this channel, and this is Tyler from the Other Games channel, signing out.